Yuffie's just dropped, and in this video we're going to go over her new banner, all of her weapons, her limit breaks, how you can get the free tickets for her, leveling her up. We're going to cover everything. So sit back, relax, and let's get into it. So I have her banner right here in front of us. She's on the banner with Glenn, which, I mean, they gave Glenn a weapon. I guess that's something. Poor guy, just can't get another outfit. Yuffie, of course, has a brand new outfit and a brand new weapon on top of all of her other weapons, which are also brand new, but she has a featured one. So we're going to go ahead and cover that. First weapon that we're going to cover is Arctic Star. So this one increases physical attack of a single ally by mid potency, going up to high if you cast it twice. It gives a tiny, insignificant heal, and then it also buffs Yuffie's physical attack by mid, only going up to mid, which is very interesting. Here are the R abilities: 24 points for boost physical attack, 9 points for a new R ability that came along with Yuffie, which is buff debuff extension for stats, potency, and resistances. And as you raise the level up, the effect of course increases, but by a pretty significant amount. So at level 3 it's already at plus 80%, at level 4 it's at 120, goes all the way up to 200%, so tripling the duration of your buffs and debuffs there. That's pretty cool if you can max it out. If you bring it up to OB6, it's already at high potency for whichever ally you choose, and it's still at mid potency for Yuffie, but the second time you cast it, it can go up to high, and then if you get it at OB10, it's the same thing, immediately high for the other ally and still mid to high for Yuffie. Taking a look at the support materia, 1 attack plus 10% and then 2 physical attack plus 20%, that's great. And if you take a look at the base stats, it's all internally consistent, it's leaning towards physical attack. I think this is a fantastic weapon and really carves out a niche for Yuffie in and of itself. 4-point Shuriken, this is the one that they gave us for free. We all get it for free at Overboost 1 because of the X/Twitter campaign. So if we take it to level 90, it deals AoE, physical, non-elemental damage, not a whole lot. Chance to crit, really not that important, but physical attack is decreased at low potency. If you cast it again, it's increased to mid potency. Our abilities are boost HP and that new buff debuff extension R ability. If we bring it all the way up to OB10, we have 40 and 36 points respectively for those R abilities, and the potency of the physical attack down goes up to mid. So this is kind of, at least for the command ability, it's similar to Aerith's Full Metal Staff. That's another AoE physical attack down command ability. I definitely like these R abilities more. If we take a look at the weapon's base stats, it's internally consistent, it's focused on dealing physical damage in the command ability, and the stats lean towards physical damage. So that's great. For the support materia, attack, physical attack, that's good. Good, I like it. Boomerang, 320% physical non-elemental damage to a single enemy and reduces fire resist. So this is analogous to Lucia's Bald Eagle or Red 13's Seaside Collar. Those two reduce ice resistance and lightning resistance respectively. So starting at OB0, it reduces by mid potency, but it can stack up to high. If we bring it to OB6, it's immediately up to high, deals more damage, and then OB10 deals more damage, stays at high. And then for the R abilities, maxes out at 40 points physical attack, 36 points fire potency. So hey, that's great. This is another great weapon for your Fire God Cloud, or really anybody else who you're trying to stack physical attack and fire potency on, so that's fantastic. Support materia is fantastic, all physical attack. Starting to notice a trend for Yuffie's weapons. She's very physical attack focused, and again, the base stats lean towards physical attack, so very internally consistent with the R abilities and the base stats. Another good weapon. Pinwheel. So this one deals, again, 320% physical non-elemental damage, and this one reduces ice resist. Okay, so far she's able to reduce fire resist and ice resist. For the R abilities, she gets boost HP and boost ice potency, going up to 40 and 36 respectively, and the potency of the debuff is as expected. At OB0, it's mid to high, OB6, it's high to high, and then at OB10, it's high to high. Stats are again, or the base stats are again, internally consistent, so higher emphasis on the physical attack, which makes sense, this is a physical attack weapon. And then for the support materia, 3 physical attack boosts, again, fantastic. Another good weapon. Razor Ring. Alright, so we have an AoE Earth weapon. Okay, very interesting. If we bring it up to OB10, It leans more heavily towards the boost earth potency, but it also does have magic attacks, so anybody who was hoping to build a very strong earth potency Lucia, this is another sub-weapon that you're going to want to be looking for. I think there was only one other magic attack and earth potency weapon that you can get for Lucia, and that was Glenn's Jiggy Fan, or whatever it's called. He has absurd weapon names. But you want to pull for this one if you want to build a very strong earth potency Lucia. So this is great. And from a Yuffie weapon perspective, the base stats are again internally consistent. The base stats are leaning towards magic attack, and this is a magic attack based weapon, so that's fantastic. The support materia are again just beautiful. Attack, magic attack, magic attack. Yuffie's weapons are just, I think they're very good. Crystal Cross. Stalwart Faith. So she's able to buff her allies' magic attack as well. So she can do the same thing that Aerith can do with Garnet's Rod. The command ability matches Barrett's Micro Laser as well. Now there are 3 options in the game to boost your allies' magic attack. Really 2 options if you didn't pull on the FF9 banner. I sure didn't. I had a hunch they were going to add more weapons that you could use to boost your allies' magic attack, and I'm so glad I didn't pull for Garnet's Rod. I'm not going to lie. Looks like the R abilities are boost magic attack and boost ability potency. Not magic ability potency, just ability potency, which is fine. This is meant to be more of a supportive weapon. You can't make it too strong. I think that's fine. In terms of the base stats, it's internally consistent, just like every other Yuffie weapon we've looked at so far. Taking a look at the support materia, and again, attack, magic attack, beautiful. Crystal Cross, another great weapon that's going to allow Yuffie to support both magic DPS and physical DPS with her repertoire. Next, we're taking a look at Wind Slash. So this is another single target ability, 320 physical non-elemental damage, and thunder resist is decreased. Oh, poor Red 13, man. He had a niche, and now it's... I mean, you can, I feel so bad for him. Looks like at OB0, the potency of the debuff is as expected, mid to high. At OB6, high to high, and then I'm assuming OB10 is also high to high? Yes, it is. For the R abilities, boost physical attack, and that new R ability, the buff debuff extension, at 40 and 36 points respectively. Stats are, once again, internally consistent for the base stats. Support materia are, oh, this is great. Physical attack, and boost lightning. So that's something that we are seeing on a few of these elemental resistance down weapons. So we've seen it on Lucia's weapon, we've seen it on Zack's weapon, we saw it on Sephiroth's weapon that was released in the most recent banner before this one, and now we're seeing it on this Yuffie weapon as well. I don't think this was on the other 2 elemental resistance down weapons that Yuffie had. No, it's not on Boomerang, and it's not on Pinwheel either. So Wind Slash is unique in that regard for Yuffie. But again, another very, very good weapon. Next up is Twin Viper. Physical, non-elemental damage, single target, and also poison is applied. This is the first weapon that does that, so I'm very interested to see how poison works in this game. It could be really, really strong. It could be disgustingly weak. I guess we'll find out. If you happen to pull for this weapon and you know how the poison works and want to explain it, go ahead and let us know in the comments. And it looks like, oh, the rate of the poison increases with the amount of overboost. So at overboost 6 is up to a 70% rate. Our abilities I'm not all that crazy about. At some point, most characters are going to want to add some attack, so like, it's okay. The base stats, internally consistent again. Actually, wait. How is poison damage calculated? I guess we're going to have to figure that out at some point. For support materia, it's kind of all over the place actually. Attack boost, physical attack boost, and magic attack boost? That's weird. That's weird. This is the first Yuffie weapon that I'm seeing where I'm kind of like, I don't know. This could really go either way. Spiral Shuriken. So this looks like just a pure single target DPS weapon. Yeah, so this is similar to the Holy Flame Gloves that Tifa got just a couple of banners ago. It's going to be a little bit stronger than some single target elemental weapons. I noticed it's starting at 440, which at the beginning of the game, when it first released on mobile, a lot of these single target elemental weapons started off at OB0 doing 400% potency, and this is starting at 440. So it's not quite at the level of Cloud's Sky Splitter from the previous banner, but it's definitely not on the weaker end of single target elemental abilities. If we take a look at the base stats, again, internally consistent, support materia, attack, physical attack, physical attack. So this is a great single target ice damage weapon for Yuffie. Based on the rest of her kit, she's not particularly geared for ice, but you can pair this with her ice elemental resistance down weapon, Pinwheel, and you're going to be dealing some pretty decent damage. And the nice thing is that you're getting both boost HP and boost physical attack across these two weapons. So I think that's really cool. And then last but not least, we have Magic Shuriken, which is an AoE ability that just deals wind damage. Our abilities are boost attack and wind potency, going up to 40 and 36 respectively. At least the base stats are leaning towards physical, that makes sense, but usually AoE weapons aren't the best in this game. Most bosses are going to be single target focused. It's not bad, I wouldn't say it's particularly good. The support materia are great, attack, physical attack, physical attack. This is a decent weapon. I imagine a lot of people are probably going to want this as a sub-weapon for an eventual wind build, but altogether not a bad weapon at all. Let's take a look at Yuffie's costume. I think this costume matches her personality. It's very, very silly, very zany. Boost HP, I'm always a huge fan of having boost HP on outfits. And then we have 10 points of the new R ability, the buff debuff extension. So really solidifying Yuffie's role as somewhat of a niche buffer slash debuffer. So she's really good for debuffing elemental resistance. I didn't see any physical defense down or magic defense down across any of her weapons. It's only elemental resistances, but that can be quite strong, especially when she's able to buff allies' physical attack and magic attack. I'm sure eventually at some point they'll release some kind of AoE healing weapon for her with the All Cure support materia, or maybe just like a proper AoE healing weapon, but she doesn't have that right now, so definitely not a healer. She doesn't strike me as a main DPS. She seemed to only have one weapon that was geared towards being the primary damage dealer, and that was the single target ice one. And I'm sure in some cases you could make the case for the AoE wind one, but primarily she seems like she's going to be boosting the damage of your other party members. And honestly, that's still a really good niche to have. Alright, I feel like I have to at least talk about Glenn's new weapon a little bit. So he gets this Ultimatic. It deals single target, non-elemental physical damage. The R abilities are boost attack, boost physical ability potency. There is power creep in this weapon, actually. I'm not super excited about it, but it's definitely noteworthy, and it's possible that I'm underestimating it because I'm just annoyed that it didn't just give him a costume. If you compare this weapon to his other weapons, his two other physical non-elemental single target weapons, oh my gosh. You take a look at Apology in Hell, at OB0 it deals 500%. If you take a look at Personal Style, at OB0, 500%. If you take a look at his new one, at OB0, 520%. And at OB10, 1040%. Comparing that to Personal Style and Apology in Hell, which stop at 940% for both of them, there's power creep in the command ability. There's power creep in the R abilities as well. So the boost attack at OB10 ends at 54. Typically, when the first R ability ends at 54, the second R ability is not going to have quite as many points to it. You're not going to expect to see 36 points in that second R ability. Let's take a look at Apology in Hell, for example. You can see that the boost attack here only ends at plus 40 for the first R ability, while the second R ability is ending at plus 36. If we take a look at Tifa's Motor Drive, she has a primary R ability that ends at 54, but the secondary ends at 24. If we compare that to Glenn's new weapon, we see that we get 54 points for the primary and 36 points for the secondary. And the secondary is boost physical ability potency. I know that many people who've been playing for a while are used to wishlisting the enemy launcher from Barret because it has boost attack and boost physical ability potency. And it's good to do that because you're eventually going to cap out on physical attack. And at that point, you want to stack physical ability potency and just attack. This is going to be a great way to do that, giving you plenty of attack while also giving you plenty of boost physical ability potency. And altogether, you're just going to be getting more R ability from one weapon. On top of that, it's going to be breaking Circle Sigil, so that's just one less Ruin Rod that you need to bring. And it has X Sigil boost, so you basically have two sigils very well covered with this weapon. I wish there were two physical attack support materia on here, but you know, I'll take one. Here we are in Yuffie's stat stream. Her first limit break, which probably isn't going to come as a surprise to anybody, is Bloodfest. This was featured in the Yuffie fight that we've had going on for the last 2 weeks or so. Single target damage, not all that surprising, it's pretty standard. Her second limit break is actually Clear Tranquil, which is a physical attack and magic attack buff for all allies at mid potency, going up to high, and applies a pretty short regen. I wonder how much this is going to increase as you continue to level up the limit break. But we now have our first limit break that increases the attack of your party. So again, more evidence of Yuffie's niche being a buffer slash debuffer with an emphasis on increasing the damage of your party. Really cool. You can see that I've completed a lot of Yuffie's early stat stream here, and I've done so while trying to avoid spending a whole lot of character memories. The reason I've done that is if you fill out a certain number of nodes from Yuffie's stat stream, you can get up to, I believe it's 60 Yuffie-specific tickets. So if you don't want to pull just yet, you're still making up your mind, you can feel free to just fill out parts of her stat stream that don't require character memories, and you can get plenty of tickets to hopefully get yourself a couple of Yuffie 5 stars to fill out her weapons a little bit. And last but not least, speaking about Yuffie's growth, we now have an effect going on for the next few days that is increasing the amount of experience that Yuffie gains by 400%. Now for those of us who don't like math, that's 5 times the normal amount of experience that you're getting for Yuffie compared to what you would normally get. So it's not going to be all that hard to level her up, I don't think. It's not going to be the slog that I and probably a lot of other people were thinking it was going to be. And what's also nice is that with the critical threat event going on, a lot of the missions, and actually basically all the daily missions, all they ask you to do is consume stamina. You don't necessarily even have to play the critical threat event to complete these missions. If you really want to focus on leveling Yuffie, you can focus on leveling Yuffie in the EXP grind missions, and you'll complete the event missions for the critical threat event, and you can continue to grind out the victory draw. So honestly, I think that's really good. Alright, so what are my final thoughts on Yuffie? I think she fulfills a really, really cool niche of just buffing her party members' attack and reducing enemies' elemental resistance. Am I going to be pulling for her? There's a very high probability that I do. I haven't decided just yet. I typically like to wait a few days to decide if I'm going to pull for somebody. I'm very tempted to at least pull for Yuffie's costume because I think the buff-debuff extension is just going to be fantastic utility for her. And I'd really like to lean into that if I decide to play Yuffie going forward. Alright, so how about we cap out the video with some Yuffie pulls. So I'll be doing my 60 free Yuffie guaranteed weapon tickets here. And I think if I don't see a Murasame outfit, I'm going to be hitting the skip button. Just because I don't want the video to get quite too... Oh, okay. Well, that's one way to start it off. So it looks like we're going to be getting at least one 5-star. Alright, I'm trying to think, what weapon do I want the most out of all of her weapons? I think I probably want... I think I'd like the magic attack up one. That would be absolutely fantastic. Because that's just a niche that I don't have on any other character yet. It would also be really cool to get the fire resistance down one. Alright, let's see what it is. Crystal Cross. I don't remember what that does. I just finished going all over. I'm gonna skip the blue stars. I'm not gonna waste anybody's time. Crystal Cross. Let's see what this one does. I mean, when you know, you just know. I don't know what else to say. Okay. I mean, honestly, if I don't get any other 5 stars, it would be depressing. But I got the one I wanted, so that's just fine. Sweet. I was hoping for Barrett's micro laser, and I haven't been able to get that just yet. But I'll take this. This is great. I can throw her into a pretty strong party with that. So that's fantastic. Alright, so no Murasame outfit. I'm just going to go ahead and hit skip. Let's see what we get. Not a whole lot of anything. I'm going to be skipping that. We can see what the 4-star is. Okay, so it's the Boomerang. That's her fire resist down weapon. Let's go ahead and do the next one. And I hope... Okay, I'm not going to lie. I hope I get more than one 5-star in 60 tickets. That'd be really nice. Okay, that's okay. I had very strong luck in the very first pull. I got exactly the weapon that I wanted at 5-star, so I'm not going to start complaining just yet. No Murasame outfit. We're skipping. Okay, a lot of 4 stars, which is still not what I want. So nice try game, but I think we can do a little bit better there. Murasame outfit. Okay. Very cool. We're going to sit here and watch this out. So I wonder which one this is going to be. Are there any other ones that I want? 'Cause I don't think you can get any of the... I don't think you can get her featured one from these tickets. I wouldn't be upset if it was another copy of the Magic Attack Up one, but I doubt that it will be. I would take any of the Elemental Resistance Down ones. I do not want it to be the Poison one or the AoE Wind one. Those are the two ones that I do not want. So game, please, if you would mind just not giving me either of those. That'd be really, really cool. Alright, we're just gonna go past the... Oh, okay. Oh, it's the Poison one, of course. Well, hey, that means I get to try it out and report back on how it works. So, I mean, I'll take it. It's a 5-star. I'm not going to complain about getting a 5-star. He said after he already complained about getting a 5-star. Alright, last but not least, I'm just going to let this one play out, whether it's a Morasame Garb one or not. We'll see what happens. Alright, so what do I want the most from this? Still Elemental Resistance Down weapons, but honestly, I'll be happy with any of them. I think at this point, I just don't want the AoE Wind one, but even that, I'd be happy to take, because eventually oh, yes! There we go, that's a 5-star. Even the AoE Wind one will be useful at some point. But yeah, let's see what we get. 3 5-stars out of that, I'm happy to take that. Pinwheel. Alright, this is the 5-star. Alright, what are we gonna get? Come on. I want something good, please. It's the Fire Resistance Down one! Oh man, that makes me so happy. Okay, I have no complaints about these pulls. I am so happy. That does make me... I feel the need to reconsider whether I'm gonna pull for Sephiroth or not now. The fire stuff for him. Nah, I'm probably still going to do it. And that's all I've got for the video. That's everything Yuffie that I can think of covering. If there's anything that I missed, let me know in the comments down below. I do plan on releasing guides for the critical threat fights, as well as the new very hard crisis dungeons that were released alongside all the other stuff that came out today. So keep an eye out for those, and I'll catch you next time.